Welcome to Grand Prix, your go-to channel for the fastest updates in Formula One. We've got 3 hot stories for you, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay ahead of the pack. Let's get started. Formula One's 2025 season continues to deliver compelling storylines, with Ferrari emerging as one of the most intriguing cases. The Italian squad has experienced a roller coaster start to their campaign, showcasing flashes of championship potential while simultaneously struggling to unlock consistent performance from their SF25 challenger. This mixed bag of results has prompted the Maranello-based team to accelerate their development program, with significant upgrades now scheduled for introduction at the upcoming Japanese Grand Prix. The core issue plaguing Ferrari appears to be a narrow operating window for their current package. While the car demonstrates undeniable pace, enough to suggest it could challenge for victories when everything clicks, the team has struggled to maintain this performance consistently across different track conditions and throughout race distances. This inconsistency has become particularly problematic as rivals like McLaren continue to make steady progress, threatening to pull away in the development race. Ferrari's technical team has identified the car's floor as a key area for improvement. Originally slated for later in the season, the redesigned floor component has been fast-tracked to address 2 critical issues: improving overall stability and expanding that elusive performance window. The new design incorporates feedback from both Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, gathered during pre-season testing and the opening races. Of particular concern is the car's ride height sensitivity, which contributed to Hamilton's disqualification in China when the SF25 ran too low during post-race inspections. What makes this upgrade particularly noteworthy is its accelerated development timeline. Ferrari's engineers have managed to compress what would normally be a months-long process into just over 4 weeks, demonstrating both the urgency of their situation and the team's improved operational efficiency under Frederic Vasseur's leadership. The new floor is expected to provide more consistent aerodynamic performance while giving the drivers greater confidence to push throughout races. The decision to bring these upgrades forward reflects Ferrari's determination not to let the championship slip away in the early stages. With McLaren's Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris showing strong form, the Scuderia recognizes that every race weekend without performance gains risks allowing their rivals to build an insurmountable advantage. This proactive approach marks a departure from previous seasons where Ferrari was sometimes criticized for reacting too slowly to emerging trends. However, questions remain about whether these upgrades will be enough to close the gap to the frontrunners. While the floor should help stabilize the car's performance, some observers wonder if Ferrari's issues run deeper than a single component can address. The team's ability to quickly understand and implement setup changes during race weekends will be just as crucial as the new parts themselves. As the F1 circus heads to Suzuka, all eyes will be on whether these upgrades can transform Ferrari from occasional podium contenders into genuine race winners. The high-speed, flowing nature of the Japanese circuit should provide an ideal test of the new floor's effectiveness, particularly in the demanding first sector where aerodynamic efficiency is paramount. The coming races will prove critical in determining whether Ferrari's 2025 campaign becomes a championship challenge or another season of unfulfilled potential. With development tokens still available and more upgrades in the pipeline, the team has the tools to fight back. But in Formula One's relentless development war, time is always the most precious commodity. For Hamilton and Leclerc, the hope is that these changes mark the beginning of a sustained upward trajectory rather than just another incremental step. Red Bull makes shock driver decision: Tsunoda to replace Lawson after just 2 races. In a dramatic turn of events, Red Bull Racing has reportedly made the decision to drop rookie Liam Lawson from its lineup after just 2 Grand Prix starts, with Yuki Tsunoda set to take over the seat as early as next weekend's Japanese Grand Prix. The bombshell move comes after an emergency meeting in Dubai earlier this week involving key Red Bull figures, including team principal Christian Horner, advisor Helmut Marko, and several major shareholders. According to multiple reputable European motorsport publications, the high-stakes meeting concluded with the team opting for an immediate change, demoting Lawson back to sister team Racing Bulls despite Max Verstappen's objections. The 3-time world champion reportedly advocated for giving the New Zealander more time to adapt, but team management ultimately prioritized immediate results over long-term development. The decision appears heavily influenced by Honda, Red Bull's current engine supplier, which has reportedly contributed an additional €10 million to secure Tsunoda's promotion. The Japanese manufacturer has long backed Tsunoda's career, and with Red Bull's competitive position looking more vulnerable than in recent years, the team has seemingly prioritized both financial and sporting considerations. Lawson's brief tenure with the senior team proved underwhelming, failing to match the promise he showed during his substitute appearances last season. While the 22-year-old showed flashes of potential, his inability to consistently extract performance from the RB20 ultimately sealed his fate. His demotion marks a brutal but characteristic move by Red Bull's famously meritocratic system, where patience for underperformance remains in short supply. Tsunoda's promotion rewards his strong start to the season with Racing Bulls, where he has consistently outperformed teammate Daniel Ricciardo. The 23-year-old Japanese driver now faces immense pressure to deliver immediately alongside Verstappen, with Red Bull's championship aspirations potentially hanging in the balance. The timing of the switch raises questions about Red Bull's long-term planning. With the team already facing scrutiny over its competitive form and Verstappen's future, this abrupt change could either stabilize their campaign or create further disruption. Some analysts suggest the move reflects growing desperation at Milton Keynes as rivals McLaren and Ferrari continue to make strides. An official announcement is expected before the weekend, closing one chapter of speculation while undoubtedly opening others. For Lawson, the setback may prove temporary. Red Bull's junior program has historically given drivers second chances, but for now, his F1 dreams take a significant hit. Tsunoda, meanwhile, gets the opportunity he's long awaited, though under circumstances that will test even his considerable talent. The coming races will reveal whether Red Bull's ruthless decision proves inspired or impulsive. In a season where every point matters, the champions have shown they're willing to make tough calls early. Whether this gamble pays off could define their entire 2025 campaign. What do you think of Red Bull's decision? Was it the right move to swap Lawson for Tsunoda so soon? Or should they have shown more patience with their rookie? Share your thoughts below. Red Bull Racing faces its most critical moment in years as two major crises converge: an impending driver change and growing uncertainty about Max Verstappen's future. The team that dominated Formula One just months ago now finds itself fighting to maintain its position at the pinnacle of motorsport. The first shockwave came with reports that Liam Lawson will be replaced by Yuki Tsunoda as early as the next race. Lawson, who earned his promotion after impressive substitute appearances last season, has struggled to adapt to the pressures of driving for the senior team. His performances have fallen short of expectations, particularly when compared to Verstappen's relentless consistency. Tsunoda, meanwhile, has been delivering standout performances for sister team Racing Bulls, making him the logical choice for promotion. This impending switch highlights Red Bull's famously ruthless approach to driver development. No one gets unlimited time to prove themselves, no matter how promising they appear. But the more existential threat comes from within their own ranks. Max Verstappen, the three-time world champion who seemed destined to spend his prime years with Red Bull, has grown increasingly vocal about his frustrations with the team's current trajectory. The RB20, while still competitive, has failed to maintain the dominant form of its predecessors, leaving Verstappen fighting for podiums rather than commanding victories. Helmut Marko's recent revelations about performance clauses in Verstappen's contract have sent shockwaves through the paddock. These stipulations, common for drivers of Verstappen's caliber, essentially guarantee him an exit route if Red Bull fails to provide a championship-caliber car. With Aston Martin and Mercedes reportedly monitoring the situation closely, Red Bull finds itself in a race against time to improve their package before their star driver's patience runs out. The technical challenges facing Red Bull are significant. While the team remains one of the most innovative in Formula One, their recent upgrades have failed to deliver the expected performance gains. Marko has acknowledged that substantial improvements are still several races away, a timeline that may prove too slow to satisfy Verstappen's competitive demands. This delay creates a dangerous window where rival teams could potentially poach the sport's most valuable driver. The situation presents an unprecedented test for Red Bull's leadership. Team principal Christian Horner, already navigating the aftermath of earlier controversies, must now stabilize both his driver lineup and technical department while maintaining morale within the organization. The pressure on technical director Pierre Wache and his team has intensified dramatically, with every practice session and qualifying round scrutinized for signs of progress. For Verstappen, the calculus is simple but consequential. At 26, he's entering what should be his peak competitive years. The Dutchman has no interest in being stuck in a rebuilding project. He wants to win championships now. His father Jos Verstappen's recent comments suggest the family is prepared to make tough decisions if Red Bull can't provide the tools Max needs to compete for titles. The coming races will be crucial in determining Red Bull's short-term future. Strong performances could ease tensions and buy the team time to develop their car. Continued struggles, however, might accelerate Verstappen's decision-making process. With the summer break traditionally being when driver market movements begin in earnest, Red Bull has perhaps 8 to 10 races to demonstrate meaningful progress. This crisis also raises questions about Red Bull's long-term competitiveness. Have rivals finally caught up to their technical innovations? Has the departure of key personnel, like Adrian Newey, begun to take its toll? Or is this simply a temporary dip in form that the team will overcome? The answers to these questions will shape not just Red Bull's 2025 season, but potentially the entire competitive landscape of Formula One for years to come. As the Formula One circus moves to the next race, all eyes will be on the Red Bull garage. Every radio transmission, every post-session interview, every subtle body language cue will be analyzed for signs of either reconciliation or growing discontent. In a sport where fortunes can change rapidly, Red Bull finds itself at a crossroads that could define its future trajectory.